This is TOS Television, your digital first Pan-African news network. I am Merciful Ajinamo, and this is Africa Now. We begin with election development on the continent, where a large victory has been granted to the outgoing Prime Minister Ulysses Correa Silva of Cape Verde to his center-right formation in Sunday's legislative elections, according to a near-complete result released overnight. The small West African country, considered a model of democracy on the continent. Silva, who is aged 58, has been in power since 2016 as the head of government, a former senior executive of the Bank of Cape Verde, ex-minister and ex-mayor of the capital, Praia. His party, the Movement for Democracy, won 36 of the 72 seats in the National Assembly, according to the results of the National Electoral Commission, which covered almost 98.2% of the polling stations. The candidate of the former single party, Janira Hopfa Almada, a 42-year-old former minister, has lost her bid to bring the historic left-wing formation back to power and become the first woman to head the government at the former Portuguese colony. Tourism is one of the main drivers of the country's economy. Economic activity generated by foreign visitors normally makes up about 25% of the country's economy, but COVID-19 forced the Portuguese-speaking country into recession and output dropped by almost 15%. The Independent National Election Commission said on Saturday that Derby won a majority in all but one of the 51 departments announced so far and secured a plurality in the other to extend his 30-year rule. This comes as the United States and the United Kingdom warned of possible violence in the capital city, N'Djamena. The United States late on Saturday said rebel fighters in Chad appear to be moving towards the capital N'Djamena and ordered non-insurgent staff to leave, warning of possible violence. A day earlier, the British government had also urged the citizens to leave Chad because of information that 2 rebel convoys were on the move. A spokesman for the Rebel Front for Change and Concord in Chad said its fighters had liberated the province of Kanem, some 220 kilometers from the capital N'Djamena, but the government denied it. Discrediting the information, the government in a Facebook message said the authors of the false statement are not even on ground, but somewhere in Europe. A request for the release of former Chadian President Hissène Habré, sentenced to life imprisonment by an African court in Dakar for crimes against humanity, has been refused by the Senegalese judiciary, his lawyer said on Sunday. His lawyers filed a request for permission for his release on March 29th. The reasoning used by the court to refuse permission is that the issue of health is the responsibility of the direction of the prison administration. Habré, who was the leader of Chad from 1982 to 1990, was sentenced to life imprisonment on May 30th, 2016, after an unprecedented trial in Dakar that found him guilty of crimes against humanity, rape, executions, slavery, and kidnapping. The Chadian Commission of Inquiry put the number of victims of repression under the Habré regime at 40,000. The court that sentenced Habré also awarded 82 billion CFA francs in compensation to more than 7,300 victims who are still demanding to be compensated. To COVID-19 development, Malawi's Labour Minister Ken Nandodo has been sacked and 14 senior officials arrested over the misuse and alleged embezzlement of COVID-19 funds, President Lazarus Chakwera and police said on Sunday. The president in a televised address said the action followed an audit he had commissioned to look into how the 6.2 billion Malawian kwacha, which is about $7.8 million of the country's COVID-19 response program, had been spent. There are no sacred cows, the president said, promising the arrest of more people within the civil service. The Labour minister has been accused of diverting 613,000 Malawian kwacha worth of the COVID-19 funds to pay for travel expenses to South Africa. The president noted that while the minister had repaid the funds, it meant the money was not there when it was needed the most. Chakwera promised to curb corruption when he took office in June last year, bringing his total Malawi Congress Party out of opposition for the first time in 26 years. Malawi has so far recorded more than 33,000 cases of COVID-19 and 1,138 deaths. To Equatorial Guinea, the West Coast Central African country received on Sunday a shipment of 300,000 Sinovac COVID-19 vaccines purchased from China. Foreign Minister Ibrahim Akali Lukaba said the country is also set to receive a donation of 200,000 Sinopharm shots. He gave no further details on the Sinopharm donation. 93 new coronavirus infections on average each day is recorded in the country, with 21,460 infections and 138 coronavirus-related deaths reported since the pandemic began. The West African country has administered at least 109,296 doses of COVID vaccines so far, according to government data. This is your digital first Pan-African news network, TOS Television, You're watching Africa Now. More stories after the break. Do stay. Thanks for staying tuned. Tanzania's newly sworn-in President Samia Suluhu Hassan has asked members of parliament to stop debates comparing her with her predecessor, John Magufuli. Expressing her disappointment, President Samia urged the parliament to focus on the government agenda rather than discuss her differences with the former president who died last month from coronavirus complications, adding that she was focused on continuing the work Magufuli had started. President Samia made this known when speaking at a national conference organized by religious leaders in memory of the late president and to also pray for the new leaders. An Egyptian passenger train that derailed just north of the capital Cairo in Egypt on Sunday left 11 people dead and 98 injured. The Egyptian government said the train was heading from Cairo to the now Delta city of Mansoura when 4 carriages derailed at 1:54 p.m. local time, Egyptian National Railway said in a short statement. The country's health ministry said over 55 ambulances were dispatched to treat the injured, and the cause of the accident is being investigated, it added. The derailing is the latest of several recent railway crashes in Egypt. At least 20 people were killed and nearly 200 were injured in March when 2 trains collided near Tata, south of Cairo. One of the deadliest train disasters happened in 2002 when 373 people died after a fire broke out on a train traveling south of Cairo. Egypt's Transportation Minister Kamel El-Wazir, a former army general, has faced calls to resign from some Egyptians on social media. He has rejected the calls and vowed to keep working on developing the aging rail network. A fire that broke out Sunday on Table Mountain, the iconic peak, overlooked the city of Cape Town on the tip of South Africa and was by Monday morning still not under control, according to a statement by the city. The statement said the flames destroyed part of the restaurant next to a monument to British colonist Cecil Rhodes, houses and several buildings in the prestigious Cape Town University below, including the library. Hundreds of students had left their residences on foot, walking along the main road to escape the smoke and find shelter. Firefighters had received the first alert shortly before 9 a.m. local time on Sunday. Reinforcements were deployed and 3 helicopters were assisting in the effort, dropping water packs on the flames. One firefighter was hospitalized with burns, the city said, while his colleagues continued to fight the fire in the evening, the city's statement added. The Table Mountain National Park, as a precaution measure, had asked in the morning, including on social networks, to hikers to evacuate the area immediately and motorists to pick up their vehicles parked nearby. In business, the weekly Mombasa tea auction tea held on 12th, 13th and 14th April recorded a slight increase in prices, with a kilogram selling at an average price of $1.83. This is compared to $1.82 during the previous sale held on 6th, 7th and 8th April 2021. However, when compared to the same period last year, the prices decreased from $2.05. The amount of tea on offer at the weekly auction decreased from 14.1 million kilograms for the same period last year, but increased from 12.6 million kilograms offered during the previous sale. The auction had 12.9 million kilograms of tea offered for sale. 11.5 million kilograms of tea were sold compared to 13.1 million kilograms sold in the same period last year and 11.1 million kilograms during the previous sale. And that is Africa Now. For more updates, visit our website www.tostvnetwork.com. Do also follow and like our social media handles on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. And remember to subscribe on YouTube. Do stay with us and enjoy more programs. I am Merciful Ajinamo. Thank you so much for watching.